What is up, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about a topic that, as of late, has been really popular amongst the Patriots and amongst Patriots fans. There was a good amount of you DMing me through Twitter or Instagram, just asking me my thoughts on this, so I thought I'd make a video on it and kind of give my perspective and feedback and hopefully shed some light on the situation, and that's Andy Dalton to the Patriots next season. Now, I want to start this off by saying that the rumors going around is all perspective. It's all analysts saying if Brady leaves, this is the route that the Patriots should go. This is the quarterback they should look at. There has not been any word from anybody within the Patriots organization or Bill Belichick or anyone that are involved from the Patriots saying that the organization is interested in Andy Dalton, okay? So let's just get that under wraps right away, is that the Patriots are not actively looking into Andy Dalton. This was just people, analysts, people who talk about football, saying that they believe if TB12 is to leave the Pats, that Andy Dalton is the guy that should go to New England because of his experience within the AFC and the fact that, he'll be a free agent. I mean, let's keep in mind that last offseason, the Patriots had interest. Okay, the actual New England Patriots had actual interest in free agent Blake Bortles, who was released by the Jags because they traded for Nick Foles. And even with actual interest coming out from the team, they still didn't sign him. I know that this is something that is freaking a lot of Pats fans out. Obviously, Andy Dalton has not done too great in his career. He's definitely not something to brag about. And of course, memes are already being made about Andy Dalton and the Patriots, which kind of goes hand in hand with the whole situation. Now, something to note is that it's more as of late that Andy Dalton has fallen off. More so in the beginning of his career, he really had not been all that bad. He was drafted back in 2011 as a second-round pick, and he led the Bengals to some pretty good records in his time with them. 10-6, 11-5, 10-5-1, 10-3. In his rookie season, he put up 3,398 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions with a completion percentage of 58.1. 2013 was his best season when he played in all 16 games, again led that team to 11-5 record, had a completion percentage of 61.9 for 4,293 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. Like I previously mentioned, there's been some times that Andy Dalton hasn't been able to play in all the games. Even in 2019, he appeared in 13 games. 2018, he appeared in 11. In 2015, he appeared in 13. But besides that, since again joining the league in 2011, he's been playing in all 16 games. Personally, let's just pretend that Andy Dalton does come to the Patriots. Okay, everyone's freaking out, blah, 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 Andy Dalton, the Bengals, Tom Brady's replacement, ? The thing about Andy Dalton is that, let's remember, he went to the Bengals. The Bengals, who never have really had a great coaching staff, especially the past few years. They've been one of the bottom teams, especially this past season. And of course, coaching staff makes a huge difference. Okay, then you look at the players around them, and he's never really had a great offense. Of course, he's had guys like, Tyler Eifert, who can barely play a season because of health. He's had A.J. Green, who has been great for them. Obviously, of course, their number one wide receiver for years on top of years, but even last season, he was out pretty much the entire time. To me, I wouldn't hate the idea of bringing Andy Dalton in. Now, to say that he's Tom Brady's replacement, to say that he's going to be the starter, for next season, whether Tom Brady leaves or not, I think is a huge jump and is something that I would never take to that level of extreme. But being a former second-round pick, putting up some pretty decent numbers with a team like the Bengals, I think Andy Dalton definitely has talent and he has ability, but again, you have to look at the team that surrounds him. a lot of times there are a lot of great players within the league in, each NFL team, but a lot of times they don't get the recognition that they deserve because they are plagued by the terrible team they're on and really the terrible coaching staff. We've even seen it as Patriots fans where the Patriots can't necessarily get the best out of a player. Okay, they can't get the most value out of a player because it's not working for them, whether it's the system, whether it's, whatever it is. But then they'll go to another team and it's like, wow, why couldn't you play like that when you were with us? And that's not to hype up Andy Dalton here too much, but I'd be very curious to see what a guy like Andy Dalton would be able to do with a good organization, with actual coaching staff and good directions, and give him some actual weapons, okay? In, Cincinnati and the Bengals, they do have a pretty good running game. Joe Mixon, he's a great running back, one of the better running backs in the league, obviously. But they don't have a great offensive line. Give Andy Dalton a good top offensive line with good top weapons and a good backfield. And like I said, I'd be very curious to see how things would then pan out for him. And of course, the big reason that this conversation even started for Andy Dalton to the Patriots is because he has experience within the AFC. And that's going to be very vital to get a guy that has experience within the division you're in. Not getting a guy that is the complete opposite of what your team and your organization and what your standpoint is. Because here's going to be the big thing. If Tom Brady does end up leaving, the Patriots are going to be wrapped up and plagued, for lack of better words, especially for next season, having to restart from the bottom up, trying to bring the guy in, whether you're just drafting him or whether you're grabbing a guy who's been in the NFC for his entire career, who really doesn't know much about the AFC or the AFC teams and really how to maneuver throughout the AFC, which, if you look at the Patriots, they've been able to do and dominate for the last few decades. So do I think that Andy Dalton even comes to the Patriots? No. Is there a chance? Of course there's always a chance. It wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots are interested in a veteran quarterback, bringing him in, seeing what he's got again. Let's remember that they had interest in Blake Bortles last year. But I don't see Andy Dalton becoming the number one quarterback, the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots next season. Again, I'm not even going to be thinking and, getting more into the analyzing part of Andy Dalton to the Patriots until it gets more confirmed, till we hear from the Patriots that the Patriots are interested in him. So if anybody here is worried about the topic of Dalton to the Patriots, I'm here to tell you that you can breathe a little bit. But that's going to be it for today's video. Again, what are your guys' thoughts on Andy Dalton to the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you guys like this video and subscribe if you have not already for a lot more content coming your way. Also, make sure you guys turn on that post notification bell. Right after you're subscribed, you'll see a little bell. You hit it, and make sure that you hit the button that says get notified for all videos. It's the off season. A lot of crazy things are going to be happening. They already are, and your guys are not going to want to miss a video. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in my next video.